Good morning. It keeps growing. It's like a leaning tower of baseball cards over here. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Thursday. Hopefully, a better Thursday than it was Wednesday. Never say it can only get better because it can always get worse. Always. So, hopefully, it gets better than yesterday. It was Murphy's Law that went into effect at our new house. Throughout the day, we were able to get I ran stairs like 4 times this morning, so I'm gonna get in shape this summer with all the up downs I'm gonna be doing on stairs. Last week it was up downs with the monster boxes for the card show, and then I had to bring the boxes back down so I could fill my car with Goodwill. Now I'm coming down with Goodwill stuff. Whew. I'd love to start moving stuff into the new house, but not quite there yet. Not quite there yet. So I've got a topic that I didn't want to talk about because I just want to unwind, drink my coffee, and talk about fondling my baseball cards. That's what I love to do on Hobby Evolution, but I have opinions, and this is a good outlet for me to just scream them out and get on my soapbox and bitch. So it's kind of it's a touchy subject, but I want to dance around it. Maybe I won't even. Well, you know me, I'm not going to dance around it. But I just want to watch my words. But I'm really frustrated with all of the bullshit that's going on with the Dodgers, namely, but just in general. So I want to share my opinions, not that you give a shit what I think about. But I do want to just what the hell's going on in our society today? So in terms of baseball, and maybe we should shut up and play. Remember, shut up and play. Stick to sports. Maybe it's time, because neither side, whether you believe in this or that, can't handle it. And it's the what about. The whataboutism is raging. Well, we don't want that group promoted at the Dodger game because we don't believe in that and they make fun of us. And then the Catholics want to go in and it's just a bunch of bullshit is what's going on. And I'm tired of it. Just shut up. If you don't like them, ignore them. Get out a newspaper when they're announced at Dodger Stadium. Because guess what? The other side, neither of I get it. Neither of you like each other. That's fine. You don't believe in the same things. Aren't we mature enough in the year 2023 to just ignore what we don't believe in? So maybe I got all of this out just now, because I do want to keep it short. Shut up and play. Society obviously isn't mature enough. And I'm generally speaking, I'm not pointing fingers at anybody. Okay, Blake Trinan, I'm pointing fingers at. Who's the other guy? Anthony Bass, we're pointing fingers. And I don't want to go down the road of what each, because I have my thoughts, and you don't need to know my thoughts. But I just think if we can't handle it, and if we're going to cancel culture, boycotts, if you don't want, you know what? I don't like what Chick-fil-A believes in, but I still eat their frickin' chicken sandwiches. I'm not going to boycott them. Oh, they're super Catholic. I'm not going to eat your chicken. I'm not going to drink your Bud Light because it's got rainbows. Shut the F up. Drink the frickin' beer. Eat the frickin' chicken. I don't care. Maybe I should. Maybe I should. but I don't give a F-U-C-K. If they want to have a Catholic night, go for it. If they want to have a Jewish night, go for it. If they want to have LGBTQ plus, go for it. Now there is a line that needs to be drawn. We don't need KKK night. We don't need skinhead night. We don't need Nazi night. We don't need that shit. But when it comes down to non-hate, and you know what? There's hate everywhere. It's just not as in your face as some of the groups I just mentioned. But there's certainly hate within the Catholic groups that are outraged. And there's hate on the other side. There's hate on both sides. It's not just a left versus right. I believe in this. I don't believe in that. Okay. I think I've said my piece. I read these tweets, tweet after tweet, like Jesus H. But guess what? Maybe I'm being a hypocrite, because what am I saying? Just shut up and play. Ignore it. And what am I doing? What am I not doing? Ignoring it. I am letting it fester inside me until I have to go on and get my fake microphone out and bitch about it. So maybe I'm part of the problem. Let's go into the chat. Red Bridge in the house. Good morning. Shane, what's happening? David in the house. George, good morning. Terry, Sal, Dougie, and Ed. We've got Raphael. Harlan in the house. Brian, good morning. Herman is here. Victor says it's a hot, beautiful day in Chicago. Tough loss yesterday, but go Cubs. Great cards from the Goodwill box. What is up, Victor? Tough loss for the Cubs. And I think a bigger loss is going to be Justin Steele. When he got rattled, not rattled, but he got shelled in his last start. And I told my Cubs group, I said, something's not right with Steele. Like, that's just not, something's not right. Like, there's an underlying injury going on with Steele. And then yesterday, what happens? He goes 3 innings, has something with his elbow. Trainer comes out, David Ross comes out, and I think he finished the inning out, because I think there were 2 outs in the 3rd inning. He finished the inning, but he didn't come back out for the 4th. They said it was precautionary, but he's having imaging done today. I think they're going to discover something, and I think Steele's going to miss some time. That's just more my opinion. What don't you want to hear? My opinions. But that sucks. Hopefully I'm wrong. Everything is in the clear, and he'll be good to go. Scott Thompson, what's happening? Good morning. Zach says, is this where you slam Mercari? Got no clue of what current event you're talking about, so I'm good at ignoring stuff. Yes, you are good, man. It's all over my timeline. There's a bunch of shit going on with the Dodgers. Initially they had an LGBTQ plus night. One of the groups apparently makes fun of Catholics. So they disinvited that group, and then that drew outrage. So then they invited them back, and then the Catholics are now up in a roar. And now all of these players are tweeting out all this bullshit. And it's like, can't we all just get along? Like, we understand, like, we think differently. If you're this or that. But isn't a collector's dream? Good morning. John says, I don't believe in Brian Leaf. Very hard to bite my tongue, though. Rich says, Kershaw, to his credit, does a lot for the community, but he is not always accepting of others, as you see. Exactly. And isn't that what, in full disclosure, I don't read the Bible. But isn't, like, I was always taught growing up, like, be accepting. But guess what? I also wasn't raised Catholic either. Sorry, I went there. I'm sorry. I have a lot of family that are Catholics. I have a lot of friends that are Catholic, and they're great people. They're great people, and I love them. I just don't love their religion. I'm sorry. John says Kershaw is paid to pitch. And it always annoyed me when people would be, shut up and play, stick to sports. But now I think it's time to do that. Like, I think you're right. We don't care about Clayton Kershaw. We don't care. First of all, we don't care about what I think. So I just want that to be known so people don't call me a hypocrite. Well, you're telling him to shut up and pitch. Why don't you shut up and talk about baseball cards? You're right. I should. And you're correct. Kershaw paid to pitch. We don't care about his, and it goes all, it doesn't go like, it goes all across the board. Doesn't have to be, and this is just what is going on currently. Why do you hate Craigslist? There was a time when the only things we wanted from our athletes is a good Miller Lite commercial. Miller Lite had some bangers back in the 90s. There were some good Miller Lite commercials in the 90s. There was one where, what was the guy? It was kind of a random commercial. 90, I think it certainly was 90s commercials. Miller Lite 90s commercial. What's Miller Lite going to do to piss a section of people off? It was like Ed or Bill, and it was just really, Rodney Dangerfield. That, of course, that was early 80s. In 1994, Bud Light did a ladies' night with men in drag. I wonder how that would go today. I'm going to keep that one. Meghan Markle was in a Miller Lite commercial. Deacon Jones. Okay, I can't remember Bob or what. I just remember him walking through like a cornfield. I can't remember what the hell commercial that was. Maybe somebody can fill me in. Flawed Thinker, good morning. Rich says, nor do I, and I get the best customer service at Chick-fil-A. The only thing that annoys me about Chick-fil-A, the actual food and service, is the stupid drive-through. I don't like humans running the drive-through, like standing out taking your. I don't like that. I want to talk into the machine, and I get the machine sometimes. Wah, 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 wah. But for some reason, I just don't like people walking up to my car taking my order. I don't know. I don't like that, and I don't like the lines. Which the lines means it's good. People want to go there. So I guess I can't talk crap about that. Had lunch there the other day. They mistook my order. Brian says, don't drink the Kool-Aid. And I love how Bo thinks Catholics is the only religion. You know what? They're all. Right now I'm saying I'm picking on the Catholics because that's what is going on right now. I don't know. Maybe the Methodists are too. It just full disclosure, like I grew up, I didn't go to church. I went to Sunday school when I was like 4. And then my parents were like, do you want to go? And I don't think they wanted to go to church. My parents were dragged to church. And they decided we don't want to do that. I think my dad might have been raised Catholic. But it was the method, and we went a couple. My mom would pay the church, and it was basically like, I'm going to pay them so I don't feel bad about not going. It's like, that doesn't make sense. So we would go like every 6 years, for like Mother's Day or Easter. So I'm like, I had no formal religion. I joked. I don't know if I joked in here or in somewhere else, but I think I've been to Jewish temple more than I have in a church. I've actually been to a Catholic service. My best friend, who's probably having a Catholic wedding in July. I went a couple times and I'm like, ooh, gave me the heebie-jeebies. It was so different because I didn't go to church. Like I don't really care for any organized religion. Think what you want to think. Good morning, Johnny Boy Cards. Rich says the manager without anything, but I'm sorry. Took back the food and had my order out in a minute or so. That's awesome. Take the skinheads bowling. Hello, Tiger727. We need more Pink Floyd nights at the old ballpark. Yeah, disco demolition, 10-cent beer night. Victor says there is hate everywhere. There is. There is. And it sucks. It's like, just be accepting. Like, we all have our beliefs and we all have our likes and dislikes. But sometimes listen to the other side. You know, I grew up in a small town and I held a lot of beliefs growing up that, looking back, I realize we're not good. Because in a small town, you're very sheltered and you only know one thing. And when something is not normal to you, it's different. And sometimes we fear different. Different is okay. And that's what I learned as I matured and grew up. By the way, I'm leading services Friday night, and my Devar Torah will be a similar topic. Let's see. Where are we at? By the way, these cards, we're going to go through these. So it's not all going to be kind of a serious topic this morning. I want to get off it. So I'm going to get off it. I'll read your comments, but I won't comment anymore. And I don't mean to if I offended anybody, I apologize. I don't mean to offend. I have my beliefs, and I am accepting for the most part. I'm not accepting of hate. So I want to wrap this. I just want to wrap this up, but I want to wrap it up to make sure I don't piss anybody off, offend anybody. So it's not that I'll just drop it. These are cards from the Goodwill Pal. I still have my entire cars. I don't think I went through any. But the only boxes I went through yesterday was what we went through in the morning on Hobby Evolution. I was pretty busy yesterday, and I'm going to talk about that. Oh my God. Social media started everything. Everyone thinks people want to hear their opinion. Most people's families don't even want to hear things that you think. They are just trying to live. Exactly. And here I am sharing my opinions that nobody wants to hear. But you are exactly right. Sometimes I have the same beliefs as a stranger I've never met on Twitter, but I have a cousin on Facebook. Like, how are we related? How do we share the same blood? John, without Roger Waters, I would prefer. Good morning, AA cards. Dan in the house. What's happening? I'm glad I listened to this part. We'll catch the rest on replay. Thank you, Uncle Rich. Brian Wolf, real Americans don't talk about politics or religion. We used to, so I've got, and I do, I said I wanted to be done with it, but I'm gonna, because that's a point that I want to bring up. That's a point I want to bring up because that's how I was raised. I was raised, we don't talk about politics or religion. And I had an uncle who passed away during COVID. He was an asshole. And I would have said that before when he was alive. So don't speak ill of the dead. Well, he was an asshole when he was alive. He's still an asshole. He had much different beliefs religiously and politically. And I don't talk about that shit till today. We were at they were traveling cross country, and was that when they? No, because this was before COVID. But we had like a kind of an informal family reunion, and we were sitting at the table, and he's always been brash. He's just kind of a brash in your face, and it's basically what he believes is the only thing. That type of person. And he starts talking about politics, which we did not see eye to eye on. And I just kind of stopped. I had heard enough. I'm pretty good. Like, I'm pretty good. I wouldn't say listening, because I wasn't. It was going in one ear, out the other. But there comes a time where too much blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's move on. At least let's talk about something I'm interested in talking about. And I said, I don't want to talk about politics or religion. And that offended him. Well, that's the problem with America today. We don't talk about this. And there's a segment that believe what Brian says. We don't talk about politics or religion. There's another segment that says we should talk about those subjects. And I have always been of the thought for 40 of my years that we just should avoid those topics. But now I'm thinking maybe we shouldn't. Maybe if we do talk about these things, it'll bring to light and educate, and we can see the other side, as long as we're not preaching one way or the other. My uncle, he wanted to preach to you, and it was his way or the highway, and I always chose the highway. So maybe we should just stop and listen on other people's beliefs on politics or religion. I'm probably not going to listen. You know how stubborn I am. So maybe it's not a good idea. What's your position in man's dominance and suppression over the beautiful equine as displayed on your shirt? Oh, yes. Let's see. David says, my thoughts exactly to Zach and Porter. Social media is the worst thing to happen to our country and world. Social media is the Coke bottle from The Gods Must Be Crazy. If you haven't seen that movie, check it out. You can probably find it on YouTube. Too many people being called being Bobby Big Balls from Grandma's basement. Alex says, good morning, spot on. Both sides suck. Pretty soon we won't even be able to say anything or go anywhere. Just shut up and live your lives. John says, finally a box I'm interested on your screen. What's in the Rubbermaid cards? There might be some stuff that you're interested in. There's some oddball stuff in there. MLB should stick to baseball, honor the military, and nothing else. Just my opinion, obviously. I can agree with that, most certainly. Military, first responders. I think those are groups that we can honor. We don't need to honor religions. We don't need to honor anything else. That is, I don't know. That's my, I would agree with that. Military, and first, I'd throw in first responders. Will you be buying any Bowman U Chrome? So the football's out. Are you talking basketball? I probably will not buy any Bowman U basketball. Is that Victor Wembanyama's in that? Maybe if it's if I see it at Walmart and or Target or Walmart and I have like an itch to rip. I don't plan on it. Zach is also interested in the Rubbermaid box. Do you keep your secrets in there? Brian, what's up? One person doesn't define a religion. People are people, can have opinions, but there's consequences to what you say. Absolutely. You know, there's bad people in every religion. There's bad people in every sector. There's great people in every religion. There's great people in every other belief. So, John says, so what Rich just said makes another point. Doing things for other people is not charity if there are strings attached, i.e., you have to believe in what I believe. Fresh Secrets, Zach and or Porter. Miller Lite already did piss people off. Oh, they did. What'd they do? Buttkiss, Billy Martin, Madden, Boog, Euchre. Oh man, that's like who's who. Donald Davis, good morning. I thought the Budweiser commercials with the frogs and lizards were great. Frankie and Louie, if I remember right. Ah, yes, the Budweiser frogs. Bud Light had some, and Budweiser, I mean, the Bud Bowl were some of the greatest commercials ever made. I wish they would bring Bud Bowl back. Beer commercials used to be great, and then all of a sudden, nothing is funny anymore. We can't make jokes anymore. I know it offends some people, but I don't want to get on another soapbox, but comedy's not comedy because everybody's offended by something. Can we just I miss comedy. I miss funny commercials. Morning card hobbyist, grinding for good. What's happening? Chick-fil-A has chemicals in their waffle fries that sterilizes non-Christians. Dollar Box, what's up? If Bo doesn't get organized soon, we will read about Wisconsin man killed in collapse of baseball card boxes. It's getting worse. Box 13, still hanging tough. Paul Heath, good morning. I wear Chick-fil-A sunglasses I received for a long line. In order to not piss people off when I wear them, I even it out by not wearing pants. It's worked so far. What's in the box? I go to Chick-fil-A on Sunday to practice my that's what ticks me off. Here is what ticks me off about Chick-fil-A. They're closed on Sundays, but their advertising doesn't stop. They have commercials on Sundays. Seems a little. I'm gonna write a letter. They have the kiddos outside taking orders at Portillo's. Yes, they have people out in the here in Madison, at least on my side of town. They have the Portillo's and the Chick-fil-A are like right, not next to each other, but like just on the other side, very close to each other. Church lady would have some words about this controversy. Well, isn't that special? I got kicked out of Hobby Lobby for wearing a Bud Light shirt on the Sabbath. Flawed thinker, I will always choose Chick-fil-A over any other fast food joint because the food is always consistent and the people are always nice. Yes, it is busy, but there's so much upside, and it's freaking delicious. Delicious. And I haven't had chicken. You know what? I might have Chick-fil-A for lunch today. John Winston Lennon once said, God is a concept by which we measure our pain. Please order me a beef hot dipped. I don't like Portillo's. That's a hot take. That's probably a hotter take than my take on religion. I don't like Portillo's. Popeye's greater than Chick-fil-A. I think I'm going to agree with you there. I'm with you, Dollar Box. Popeye's, the goat of chicken. Their chicken sandwich. I mean, the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich blows the Chick-fil-A sandwich out of the frickin' water. Popeye's, goat chicken sandwiches. Yes, you are correct, sir. You are correct, sir. Popeye's is the goat. And not only that, they have chicken at Popeye's. You can't get like fried chicken at Chick-fil-A. It's just the sandwiches. Now they're good, but they're not as good as the Popeye's chicken sandwich. Where we at? Let's see where we at. Popeye's greater than Chick-fil-A. Yes. He also said, some say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not. I was Catholic until I missed a day. CEO of the Catholic Church, Christmas and Easter only. Sports Card Radio is the Catholic Church of hobby content. Dollar Box, put that comment in the penny box because it ain't worth a nickel. I'm with Dollar Box. Good morning, Mark Marinello. My only belief is that the Dodgers are the root of all evil. Go Giants. Hey, I think that's something most all of us can agree on. Bo sounds like an ex-smoker today. In my voice or just in my thoughts? Like everything's pissing me off. like an ex-smoker that really needs a cigarette. Yesterday was a day. Yesterday was a day. Yesterday was a day. That's probably why I'm up on my soapbox today. Bruce says, since you kind of hate humans running drive-through, I think you would have a fit being raised in the Grease era or the Fonz in Happy Days. You've got a good point, because what Sonic, that annoyed the hell out of me. But we had when I was a kid, we had a it was like the last of the Grease era. What do you call those? But it was called the Frost Top. It was in Geneseo. It was called the Frost Top, and they came out on roller skates and came to your car. And I think it was open in the 80s, and I think it finally went under. But yeah, you're right. I would not like that, because I don't like that service. I don't want to talk to people. I want to talk to the machine, the person on the microphone on the other side that I don't have to look at, and then get my order and go. That's why I like, whenever I'm like, I don't want to deal with people. I just want a drive-through. I just need a drive-through. Card Hobbyist was raised a holiday Catholic. LOL, Ash Wednesday, Easter, and Christmas Mass only required. Got to include Catholic weddings and baptisms as well. I like you more and more every day. Kind of assumed you leaned more on the crazy side of America. Glad you aren't. I try to stay in the middle. I'm certainly crazy, but I try to be crazy both ways. Time to shut up and play. Is that the Cubs if they want to reach Bo's wild card prediction? They have some well, they won the series. They won the series. I just saw a couple messages I got. They won the series against the Tampa Bay Rays. So where are we at, Paul? Let's see. The Cubs right now are 4.5 games out of the wild card. And let's see. The second wild card. Let's do some math. It's math time. 29 and 27. 29 divided by 56. So the second wild card. Now we got to multiply. The second Paul? The second wild card right now, June 1st, is on track to win 83.89 games this year. 83.89 games. The Cubs, however, are not on track to win 83.89 games. They're on track to win, 79? 79 games? Let's see. I refuse to have that in my life. Fraud book, face crook. It's a very useful tool. But yeah, there's a lot of garbage you have to sift through. Some people have too much going on in their life to give a crap about anything outside of that. Amen. Mike, what's happening? Shout out to Sal Dougie. Don't know him, but his name comes up on every episode. Heck yeah. Sal Dougie in the house. This is great stuff. Fire it up, Bo. Thank you, Kyle, my buddy. Card Hobbyist says, Bo said my preseason prediction of White Sox having a better record than the Cubs this year was a bad take. It may be close. Oh, I didn't even look. Where are the White Sox at? The White Sox. Oh, go to the American League. Ooh, the White Sox are really bad. 23 and 35. The Cubs are 24 and 31. Cubs are going to turn it around. Win 84 games. Get that second wild card. You can't talk about those topics because 90% of the people who want to talk about it will only preach and won't entertain a different viewpoint. That's a pretty good point. Like Uncle Larry. Like, you could talk about it, but he wasn't going to listen. He was going to preach to you about his beliefs and not listen to your take. Brian M., what's up? People don't discuss or debate. Most people take offense to opposing views and get pissed for a differing opinion. There is so much crap going on in the world today. I'm so glad I collect cards to get away from it all. That's what I want to get away from all that and talk about our pieces of cardboard with pictures of men on them. Bo, do you print an invoice for each card you sell? No, I do not. I do not give an update. I will give an update on Beverly. I do not print an invoice for every card. Let's see. John says we should be arguing about how the hell George Michael got elected to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. James wants to know my next show. My next show will be Saturday, June 17th, Madison Card Show. Saturday, June 17th. George is drinking a Molson. The world can get effed. When the aliens show up, they aren't going to care about all of this. They will assume the pets are in charge and we are their servants, which is a pretty fair point. Biscuit runs this house. Good morning, all. Happy Thursday and the first of the month. What's up, Dan? Parents had a bookstore. I read all 40 plus truly tasteless joke books. The chapters were Mexican, Polish, Jewish, Catholic, etc. Those were the days. Yeah, we could offend everybody back then and laugh about it. We can't laugh anymore. We don't want to offend. In-N-Out is the absolute GOAT. No, disagree. I've only had In-N-Out one time, and it wasn't bad. It was good. Wasn't great. My opinion. Maybe that's a hot take. In-N-Out, it's okay. Like, I'm not going to, if I see an In-N-Out, like, and we don't have them here, if I'm out west and I see an In-N-Out, I'm not going to just, go get some. That really didn't come out the way I wanted it to, but it's just like, yeah. We don't have Chick-fil-A in Korea, so sometimes I do a Chick-fil-A clone recipe. Very religious company. I turn the other cheek. Peeps, what's up? In-N-Out prints Bible verses on all packaging. I don't bring my reading glasses to In-N-Out. Flawed Thinker says all this food talk makes me want to go to Costco just for the cheap pizza and $1.50 hot dog and soda combo. I haven't had one of those in a long time. Peeps is a devout follower of Father Guido Sarducci. We called the 80s the Gaities. By my high school, we had the frosted mug, and it was the best root beer floats with this car side service. That's what the Frost Top. They were known for their root beer floats. John, you need to come visit so we can go to my LCS, and I can take you to get an actual good hamburger because the only use of goat regarding In-N-Out might be their meat. Ha ha! But Flipping Sports Guy. Wow, 4.5 games out of the wild card. God, the National League is absolute trash. It is. The National League is terrible. But there's still 108 games to play, so a lot can change. Cooter, you'll burn in Hades for saying that. It's a shame you didn't put your Cubs playoff prediction in one of those Rubbermaids, as it's done gone. Hey, I still believe, man, the Cubs are still going to win 84 games. They're still going to make the wild card. The National League is trash, so the Cubs have a legit chance. John, I'm already heading there, according to everyone else in my state. Next show has been canceled by the FCC and the IRS. Opinions are like booty holes, and everyone else's stinks. I'm running through a 54-pack of Costco hot dogs this week. There's car side service at the Flying J truck stops. Tom is in the house. What's up, Tom? What are your thoughts on Jeff Wilson's trades? Looking forward to trading with him at the National. I don't know. I'm not even sure what his trades are. So I do not have. I don't know anything about those. What is Bo's take on the gyros? I love gyros. George says, y'all talking burgers and I just want some freaking barbecue. Give me that pulled pork, brisket, jalapeno sausage, tater salad, coleslaw, baked beans, yeast rolls, and beer by the bucket. It is probably dinner time where George, or it's probably after dinner where George is. Judging by how he's getting ripped off, there will be a long line of people wanting to trade with Jeff at the Nationals. The Nationals. Yesterday was a day. Probably why I'm on my soapbox today. You know, sometimes we get pissed off, grumpy, angry because of what's going on in life. And I think that's probably why I'm the way I am this morning. Yesterday was a shit day. I mentioned yesterday on the show that I had to go over to the new house and meet the pest guy because we have something dead in a wall or vent somewhere, and he's going to take it out. So Sensitive ears, beware. I walk up in our one of our contractors who's working on the deck and screened porch. And his one of his sons raises ducks and chickens. So I'm walking up. We're walking into the house, and I said, "Man, the duck, Mama Duck, still sitting on her eggs." And the son goes, "No, something got him." And I'm like, "What?" Because I had gone over there. Today's what, Thursday? Tuesday at 5 p.m. Mama Duck, Beverly, was still sitting on her nest. They're like, "No, like a raccoon got him." And so I went over there, and she had 4 eggs, and it appears there's bloody raccoon footprints on my lumber in eggs, and so no Beverly and no baby ducks. Raccoon had dinner. So that's how the morning started. And then the pest guy comes in, and he goes, "I can't access it. It's somewhere between the basement and the bathroom." Unfortunately, I was not in the conversation with the electrician who identified the source of the smell. And so the pest guy says, "I can't access it." He goes, "You'll either have to rip out the floor." Not going to do that. Maybe get a vacuum and suck it out, or just deal with the smell. And I'm like, "What is it? Is it a mouse?" He goes, "I think it's a chipmunk." And I'm like, "Okay, how long will that?" He goes, "It's going to be a few weeks." I'm like, "Of this smell?" That's not good. So relay that on. Fast forward, I'll just wrap up that story. The electricians had enough. The electricians exterminated or removed the dead, it was a bird, apparently, that had nested somewhere between the main floor and the attic. So the pest guy wasn't even looking in the correct place. Of course, we had to pay him for a office visit or house visit or whatever you call it. So the electricians took care of, they found it, they got it out. Immediately, the smell was better. I asked one of the guys, I said, "Have you ever had to do this before?" And he goes, "No." And I'm like, "Yes." And he just kind of looked at me. I'm like, "You're not excited, are you?" He goes, "No, not really something that I'm proud of." So thank you to the electricians. Let's see, what else? The front door was removed. There was some measurement issues. There's been a lot of measurement issues. But I think that the new front door got in, but the door, it's like a special order lock that's not in yet. So we have like jerry rigged locking system in place. The ciders didn't show up for a second straight day. In like 3 out of 4 days, they haven't shown up. One of the guys was there, and he was like picking up equipment, and I'm like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "Are you working today?" And he's like, "Oh no." He goes, "My boss, I got to call my boss." And I'm like, "Okay," but I'm dealing with other stuff. And then he leaves. What else happened? The biggest issue, the fireplace was not measured correctly. The fireplace is already completely installed, tiled, and the custom cabinets don't fit because it was not measured correctly. That's a huge problem that we've got to get worked out today. Last night we had some light fixtures that we took over to the house. So we took over a couple before dinner, grilled out, and then I'm like, let's split the trip up. It was like, let's circle back. It was divine intervention. So I'm like, so we go back after dinner, and we're pulling up. We make the turn. We're coming around the bend. And I'm like, the ciders are here. The ciders were at our house pulling off of our job. So he's like packing up all the shit. And fortunately, we caught them. And like, hey, what's going on? Apparently, it was like a double brokerage situation. So the person that our contractor had hired this guy and wasn't paying him. So we get our contractor on the line, and he's like, what's it going to take for you to be there tomorrow? And so he threw out a number, and we're like, yeah, pay the man. So they're coming back today. So that was by sheer luck or divine intervention, whatever you believe. So that's about, I realized there was no outlet put in this, and this is a minor, like now we're coming up on a lot of minor things. Like in my office, there's supposed to be an outlet where the TV is going to go. Wasn't installed, but that's like the electricians are working all week, so they can just probably do that real quick. So that's no issue. I think that's about it. So yesterday was a very stressful day. I had some summer shandies. Could have used more. So yeah, it's been fun. So nature can be brutal. Yes, I can't even fill a G.I. Joe sock at this point. Turns out Bo's subcontractor renovated the wrong house. You should go into a single tube sock, John. Source of the smell was a car dealer. Yes, Beverly. Sad. Card Hobbyist says it's a box of 90 Donruss rotting away. I blew the entire crotch out of my pants today, putting the classroom tablets back in the charging cabinet. Didn't know it until the end of the day. If I'm the Thompsons, I'm writing no more checks. Stop hiring contractors from Facebook Marketplace. Hit the like button. Thank you. Sounds like you bought a pallet of contractors from Goodwill. They were using Bo's tape measure. Let's see. Tom says 90 Stars and Stripes football with those awful candy canes. Oh my God, those were awful. Hey Tom, I'm glad you're in the chat this morning because I think it's in the Rubbermaid box here. This is stuff from my Goodwill pallet. Plenty of ex-PWCC and alt people that can lay down siding. Drink more Titletown. Okay. So sometimes the Goodwill pallets, it's not all like great stuff. And I posted a picture on Twitter. Sometimes it's a garbage bag, a shopping bag thrown in. But in here, in the Rubbermaid. So first so these are 2011 Heritage Miners. Look, I'm already pitting. They were rubber banded. This is the Trout Harper year. So I'm like, oh man, what's going to be in here? No, not even I think Chris Archer is the biggest name. So in here, this is cool. It says Oscar Mayer, 1994 pop-up baseball cards, complete set. I think let's see if that's actually what's in here. I don't know if I've ever seen. Oh, I remember these. I'm going to sneeze. Juan Gonzalez, Cecil Fielder, and they're still in the plastic. Roger Clemens, Kevin Apier. The Bargain Boxer says, what is the best card out of the Goodwill palette so far? Let's see. So far, if you were watching yesterday, you saw them. It's either, well, there's a couple of them. I don't know what, this is an Ohtani mini relic. This Barry is about a $50 card with Wolverine. This was a Harry Giles. I don't know. I haven't looked up comps on that. These aren't anything. That's nothing. That's nothing. There's a Luka rookie. So probably by value, probably the Barry Wolverine. Greg Jeffries with the Cardinals. So that's what these. Oh, Barry Bonds. That's pretty cool. Bobby Bonilla. Here's Barry. Oh, Ken Griffey Jr. Oh, look at that. In front of the Ivy. 94 pop-up Oscar Mayer. So again, I haven't gone through very much of the Goodwill palette, but this is BJ Singh, Sports Illustrated for Kids, Andre Agassi. So this is a lot of like junk. What's this? Oh, those are just Upper Deck holograms. Like, you get stuff like that. This looks to be all junk. You get Ziploc bags of 90 Donruss. So yeah, this is just all garbage. So kind of a bust, but hey, there's definitely more stuff like that, what I just shown, than there are Luka, Ohtani, Tatis rookies, Barry Sanders inserts. What's in here? These pages, there might be. Ooh, here's some refractors. Sometimes the pages, the 9-pocket pages, sometimes you'll find something in here. Some LSU, those 90s cards. Here we've got some football. It's Topps Prime. Nobody in there. What do we have here? Here's the refractors. Darren McFadden, Ed Reed. Oh, there's a Brady. A couple Peyton Mannings. Yeah, there's a bunch of SI for kids in this pet, like a whole stack. A lot of junk wax football. Tom, since you're here and we've talked about it numerous times, I don't have much room to maneuver in here. These are my 76 Fleer football stickers. There's probably at least a few hundred. So Packers and Chargers, Bears and Vikings, Giants and Lions. I don't think it's a complete set because I have like, I counted up, there were like 250 of these Seahawks and Buccaneers. I've sold a bunch. Falcons and Browns. I need to go like re-inventory these, and probably because they've been in my eBay store for so long. And I don't even think some of them are, but I'll bring these to the next Madison show. Okay. So let's put that away. All right. So that's what I had for today. Be sure to set aside your Nolan Ryans for me to dig through. I will do that. Plenty of ex-PWCC and alt people that can lay down siding. Oh, we talked about that. Let's see. Christian says, My Hill, 1990 Donruss would have been a good set if not for the red blue borders. We would blue borders. We would love it. Same for 91 Fleer. If it was a black border set, it would be an all-timer. I don't know if I don't think any of those sets would be all-timers based on color. That's my take. Because for the most part, we don't like them because they were overproduced. And there were no like big, there were big rookies. The rookies would be bigger if they didn't produce billions of them. So I don't think whatever color they are, 91 Fleer, we just remember it from the bright yellow borders. But like those years, they just made so many. It doesn't, the color, I don't think they would still be crappy. We just talk about them more because of the bright colors. 90 Donruss, 91 Fleer, 91 Donruss is like one of the worst of the worst. 91 Donruss might be the worst set of the junk wax era. but we don't. It's just kind of a subtle, and there's blue borders there. Let's see. John says, I'll give you 25 of that box of stickers. 76 Fleer football. I collected those as a kid. Still have the set somewhere. That old Buccaneers logo is so cool. I'll just bring my checkbook out for those 76 Fleer. So that's what I had for today. Your next show is the same day I have my first table at a show. I'll make it up there eventually. Very nice. Saturday, June 17th, next Madison Card Show. That'll be the next show that I set up at. Saturday, June 17th, Sheraton Hotel, John Nolan Drive. And then the July show is July 22nd, which is the Saturday before the National. It was a great show last year, the week before the National. Expecting much of the same this year. So right now, the only shows I'm going to be setting up at in the summer are the Madison show, just because dates aren't lining up. That's how summer goes. You know, I see a lot of my dealers like, I can do this one, I can't do that one. And same with me. Like, you know, the month of June, the Janesville Card Show is this Sunday, which I'll be out of town, Anawan Fun Days. And then I'll have the June 17th Madison Card Show. I'll be set up at the following weekend. I'll be out of town. Actually, Randy, Bargain Boxer, I'll be in Champaign on June 24th. Bachelor party weekend. And then in the month of July, I'm basically not committing to anything in the month of July. Well, except for the National and the Madison Card Show, my friend's wedding. But that's going to be a lot of moving. So that June 24th is going to be tough. We can do it. Because I think we'll be moving in the 4th of July weekend. So hopefully August I'll be able to get to another show, Rockford or Janesville. Let's see. John says last year's National was 1,200 miles away from Madison. This year's isn't any trepidation at all. None whatsoever. I think it'll be a better show than last year because it is closer. What I saw, the reason it was such a great show last year was there were a lot of buyers stocking up for the National in Atlantic City. This year, the National is 2 hours away. People will be stocking up for the National because more people will be going. And I think, the buyers that were there last year, obviously they'll be, they're going to go anywhere for the National. But when it's in Chicago, there's going to be a few more buyers. That's my thought. We'll see how it plays out. Andy Mack says, have a good day. Thanks for making me want Popeyes and Chick-fil-A. Yeah, now after thank you, Dollar Box, now I'm like, maybe I'll skip Chick-fil-A and drive the extra 10 minutes for Popeyes today. So that's what I had for today. Thanks for hanging in and listening to me bitch about everything I bitched about at the beginning of the show. Hit the like button if you liked it. If you didn't, hit it anyway. Make me feel good about myself. My eBay store link is in the description. John says that means nothing to normal attendees. You're saying your show's success is predicated on dealers buying. No. My show's success is a combination of dealers setting up with good stuff at good prices and customers spending money with those dealers. When people come and spend money, it makes for a good show. And it was a great show last year because people were coming in spending money. They were, I don't even know, some of them probably weren't even dealers that were buying. They weren't dealers at my show, but they came in, and if they were dealers at the National, they came in and bought a ton of stuff. So that's a success. Dealers making sales and customers coming in and spending money is a good thing. So that's what I had for today. I'm confused, but that's normal for me. No problem. So like, subscribe. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Central. Saturday morning, I'll be live. No Hobby Evolution on Sunday or Monday. And I'll be back on Tuesday morning. So with that, I'm out. Have a great day, and we'll talk tomorrow.